Okay, for this lesson, we're going to call it putting it all together. You now know the three rules. Volume, buying only on the break of resistance. Get in, get out. So this is putting it all together. We know the three rules. Come morning time when the market's about to open, this is how we're going to go about finding our trade. Typically, we look at maybe the top 5 gainers in the morning, pre-market, okay? Sometimes there'll only be 4, sometimes there might be 7, who knows, okay? If it has enough volume, and I'm talking 300,000 shares probably, then it's worth watching at the bell if it's a big mover, okay? 20% or more, okay? For this instance, just to make this easy to understand, we're going to just use 2, okay? So let's say tomorrow morning there's 2 stocks to watch, okay? They're both up. They both were 50 cents last night, and they both gapped up to $1. They both gapped up to $1 at the bell, okay? So they're both up 100%. And we're gonna up until this point, we're gonna treat them the same way just to make this simple, okay? This stock is TURD. This stock is EASY, okay? So 9:30 comes, your little bell rings, you sit and watch, right? We let the plays come to us. So we're gonna let the stock show us if it's worth trading, okay? So at the bell, TURD, tanks, okay? Comes down to 70, okay? EASY, tanks, comes down to 70, okay? Now, some mornings you may have 5 or so you need to watch, okay? So you need to practice watching and deciding when a stock is worth watching still and when you can just write it off until either later in the day or just altogether, okay? So TURD comes down to 70, okay? Comes through it to, let's say, 68 or so. Comes down some more, and then falls off, okay? Never gave you a tradable setup. When it comes to this point and it just falls off, we're done. We don't even need to worry about that stock the rest of the day, okay? This stock over here, EASY. Let me fix that. It comes down to 70, okay? Dips a little more. Let's say dips down to 65, okay? Right in here. Dips down to 65. Starts consolidating. Remember, we like consolidation. That means you're getting some buyers and you're getting some sellers. You want the new buyers to come in because they want to make money, and you want the guys that want out to sell because they're going to sell anyways, okay? So it starts trending back up at 65, okay? And since this was up big pre-market, guess what you're also going to see when this starts trending upwards? You probably had a lot of volume right here selling, okay? And then down in here, you probably have next to nothing volume-wise. When you start seeing this come back to where it's bullish, remember we always want to trade bullish stocks, you're going to start seeing volume pick back up, okay? Especially at the 70 right here. With this volume picking back up, and you know people are watching this, that's why we watch these pre-market stocks early in the market day, okay? Because these are our best plays. If one of these presents a play for us, that is our best play for the day, probably, okay? Here it comes. It's touching 70. You get the bid of 71, okay? We're buying, right? It broke 70. It's bullish now. It's proven it can go up. Remember, for a stock to make us money, it has to go up. And for it to go up, it has to be able to break some kind of resistance. Okay? Guess what happens when it breaks the 70? You guys saw it all last week. Boom, you get tons of volume, you get a nice rip. Okay? Breakout time. okay? We'll say it hits 90 and you got yourself 20 cents a share, all right? So the difference, TURD came down, never presented itself as bullish, okay? It just kept going down until, and you're going to see it. Once this thing dumps and you don't see any more volume come in, this thing's done. This thing is very done, okay? You don't even need to watch it. You probably got a huge spike right here for sellers, all right? People trying to get out of the way. Like, oh crap, I better get out of here, okay? Now, another thing, let's say TURD came down. Let's say TURD came down. We'll say it came down to 65, like EASY did, okay? And it starts curling back up, okay? It's bullish right now, but is it presenting us a trade yet? No. It hasn't broken a resistance yet. It's not showing us it can break a resistance, okay? So you're going to have your big volume here, here. You're going to start seeing volume come in here. Don't be fooled though, okay? These people are buying in no man's land. They're in the 65, 66, 67 range. We don't want to buy in there, okay? It touches 70, okay? Okay, nice, right? Well, let's say the bid is only 68 and the ask is 70. Is that a break? No. Remember, we need the bid to be above the break for us to get in, okay? So a bunch of people buy the ask, it touches 70, and then guess what happens? It gets beat down because it can't break that, okay? If a stock cannot break a resistance, shorts are going to attack it, okay? They're going to see that. Especially something that, even at 70 cents, it's still up 40% for the day, okay? Shorts are going to attack that if it can't break the resistance. So even in this example, TURD never became totally bullish enough for us to trade it because it never broke a resistance for us, okay? One more quick example, probably the best plays. These are good, okay? But even better are what they call dip and rips, okay? Let's say let's do the 50 cents again, just to make this easy, guys, okay? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $1, okay? Let's say pre-market, the stock went from 50 to $1, okay? This little dotted line is my bell, okay? It's now 9:30. And let's say this dips. Let's say this sells off down to 90, okay? A lot of volume right there selling. This is why we don't play the bell. The bell can go either direction. Way too risky, okay? Our whole method is based on not losing money and making big money, okay? You can't do that when you don't know which way the stock is going to go. So it dips down to 90. 90 holds. You start getting volume again. Okay? The break of $1 or the pre-market high, that's going to be that's going to be a good breakout typically, okay? They call that a dip and rip, okay? Boom, gone. On the bid of 101, right? Bid of 101, we're in, we're flying, okay? That's probably your best setup, okay? Now that was putting it all together for pre-market gainers. The next video I will do will be stocks to start looking at when you've either moved on from the pre-market gainers or none of them have presented